Hello everyone. Ever wondered how people around the world say goodbye to their loved ones? Well, buckle up because we're diving headfirst into some of the strangest, most jaw-dropping, eyebrow-raising death rituals in history. From finger-chopping mourners to dancing coffin bearers, skeleton festivals, and mountaintop buffets for birds, this journey is anything but your typical funeral talk. Let's be honest, most of us think of death rituals as somber affairs, black clothes, tear-streaked faces, maybe a few flowers, and a lot of awkward small talk about how Uncle Frank lived a full life. But not everyone does it that way. In fact, many cultures across time and space have taken death, that big mysterious full stop of life, and turned it into something totally unique, strangely beautiful, or just flat-out bizarre. So have you ever thought about how different cultures handle death? Let's explore some customs that might make you gasp, laugh nervously, or rethink your entire funeral plan. Let's start with a real attention grabber, the Dani people of Papua New Guinea. Now, when a family member dies in Dani culture, grief isn't just expressed through tears and wailing. No, the women of the tribe, and occasionally some men, take it to the next level. They cut off parts of their own fingers. This ritual is called ikipalin, and it's done to satisfy the restless spirits of the dead and express the depth of sorrow. The belief is that physical pain mirrors emotional pain, and the offering of a finger helps appease the departed soul. Imagine it. You lose a loved one, and then you have to part ways with your pinky too. That's not just mourning, that's commitment. And if that made you flinch, don't worry. This practice is now largely banned and fading out, but historically, it was one of the most striking signs of grief the world has ever seen. Now let's swing over to Ghana, where death might just be the liveliest event of the year. Meet the gay people, masters of what can only be described as funerary flair. You see, for them, the way you go out matters just as much as how you lived. Enter fantasy coffins. These are not your average polished wooden boxes. Oh no, these are custom-built, colourful coffins shaped like anything you can imagine. An eagle, a sports car, a fish, a shoe, even a giant bottle of beer. If you can dream it, they can bury you in it. These coffins are a way to honour a person's life, profession, personality, or even quirks. A fisherman might be buried in a giant tilapia. A pilot could take their final journey in a plane-shaped casket. It's part art, part storytelling, and part send-off party. And speaking of parties, you can't talk about Ghana without mentioning the legendary dancing pallbearers. You've probably seen them online. Sharp suits, sunglasses, grooving to high-energy music while carrying a coffin on their shoulders, often tossing it and spinning like they're in a nightclub. It's not a meme, it's a real tradition. The idea? Celebrate the life of the deceased with movement, music and joy. If the afterlife is the next big adventure, why not leave in style? From high energy to downright eerie, let's float over to the Philippines, where the Tingian people have a rather unique take on honouring the dead. Instead of quickly burying or cremating their loved ones, they dress the bodies up in their best clothes and sit them on chairs in their homes. But wait, there's more. Sometimes they even place a lit cigarette between the lips of the deceased, and the family will speak to them as if they're still around. Offerings of food and drinks are made. It's less about saying goodbye, and more like easing the transition from life to the next world, slowly, gently, and in full view. It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but for the Tingian, it's a deep expression of love and respect. It keeps the bond with the departed warm for just a little longer. Now, if you thought that was intense, hold on, because the Torajan people of Indonesia are about to blow your mind. In Torajan culture, death is not seen as an abrupt end. In fact, when someone dies, they aren't considered truly gone until the proper funeral rites are completed, and those rites can take weeks, months, or even years to plan. In the meantime, the dead are kept at home, not metaphorically, literally. They're embalmed, dressed, and cared for as if they're simply ill or asleep. Families talk to them, bring them meals, even include them in family conversations. The love doesn't stop just because someone stops breathing. And when the time finally comes for a funeral, it's a massive, days-long extravaganza. Whole villages gather, animals are sacrificed. Buffalo fights are held, yes, real, live buffalo fighting it out in front of crowds. It's part ritual, part drama, and all heart. Okay, let's catch our breath and head up into the serene mountains of Tibet, where we encounter one of the most profound and eco-conscious death rituals, sky burials. Here, the body of the deceased is taken to a high mountain peak, laid out on a stone platform, and offered to vultures. To Western minds, this might sound shocking, but for Tibetan Buddhists, it's a beautiful final act of generosity, returning the body to nature, to feed another living creature, and to let go of earthly attachments. It's not about the body, it's about the soul, and once that soul has departed, the body becomes just an empty vessel. Why not let it nourish life one last time? Now, shifting from ancient rituals to modern marvels, how about becoming a diamond? Yes, thanks to a little science and a lot of carbon, you can now turn cremated ashes into a real, wearable diamond. The process involves compressing the carbon in ashes under high pressure, simulating what happens in the Earth's crust over millions of years, but faster. The result? A sparkly tribute you can wear on your finger, around your neck, or even in a pair of earrings. Grandma, immortalized in bling. Weird? Maybe. Meaningful? Definitely. And finally, let's head to Mexico, where the Day of the Dead turns the entire concept of mourning on its head. Instead of weeping in black, families dress in colourful outfits, paint their faces with vibrant skulls, and throw huge parties to welcome the souls of the departed back for a visit. Altars called ofrendas are set up with the dead's favourite foods, drinks, and belongings. Cemeteries become places of laughter, music, and feasting. Families sing songs, tell stories, and sometimes even sleep next to the graves. It's not about forgetting the dead, it's about remembering them so vividly they feel alive again. And there you have it, folks, a whirlwind tour of the strangest, most fascinating death rituals from around the globe. From finger-chopping grief to buffalo-fueled farewells, coffin dances, corpse chairs, and sky-high bird buffets, it's clear one thing is universal. Love doesn't stop at death. It just gets really, really creative. So, what about you? Would you want a fantasy coffin shaped like a sneaker, or would you prefer to become a diamond, dazzling for generations? Let us know your favourite ritual in the comments below. And if this journey through the afterlife made you smile, cringe, or just go, whoa, don't forget to like and subscribe for more strange and wonderful cultural tales. Until next time, stay curious, stay respectful, and maybe start thinking about your own funeral playlist, because you never know when you'll get your final curtain call.